On November 21st, 2025, at the Dubai Airshow held at the Al Maktoum International Airport, the world witnessed a nightmare. An Indian HAL Tejas Mk, displayed with great national pride, suddenly lost control mid-air during a final aerobatic maneuver. Eyewitnesses say that the jet, flying very low to the ground, attempted a negative G roll and then went into a steep nosedive. Seconds later, it slammed into the ground and erupted into a massive fireball with black smoke billowing across the runway. Inside that cockpit was Wing Commander Namansh Syal, a seasoned IAF display pilot from Himachal Pradesh. The entire audience watched in stunned silence as the jet disintegrated. When the rescue teams arrived, they found Wing Commander Syal had suffered fatal injuries. There were no successful ejections. This was no training sortie. It was a public demonstration meant to project strength, modernity, and India's indigenous aerospace prowess. And instead, it became a devastating symbol of failure and regret. What makes it even more chilling is that the same aircraft had made headlines just few days ago, when social media circulated videos of fluid leaking from its underbelly. It was a particularly embarrassing sight for the Indian Air Force when the ground crew rushed with polythene bags to collect the liquid. Indian authorities claimed the fluid was just condensed water, a normal drainage procedure. They said, especially in humid climates like Dubai. But when that aircraft now burns in a public display, such explanations sound hollow. This crash doesn't just shatter a jet, it shatters an entire vision of a nation. I'm Qasim and you're watching Radar Mode on Pakistan Connect. Today, we dig deep into the Tejas program and how it began, why it failed, and how this crash in Dubai might well be its final and most damning chapter. The journey of Tejas began in 1983 under the Light Combat Aircraft Program. India's ambition was clear: build a homegrown indigenous fighter to replace its aging MiG-21s and signal technological independence. But almost from the start, the program lagged. The first prototype did not fly until 2001, almost 18 years later. By then, it was clear that the Indian aerospace ecosystem was not ready. There was no indigenous engine, the radar was imported, and the airframe suffered from weight and performance issues. Rather than building steadily, India kept patching, redesigning, and compromising. The LCA program, intended to take a decade, became a slow-motion experiment. By the early 2000s, what was supposed to be a throwaway milestone had become a strategic embarrassment. Despite ambitious orders rumored to be over 300 Tejas variants across Mk 1, Mk 1A, and Mk 2, the reality of the production has been painfully small. Hindustan Aeronautics Limited has delivered less than 50 Tejas aircraft since the program's inception, averaging barely more than one aircraft per year. In 2021, when 83 Mk 1A Tejas were ordered, many expected that to push production into higher gear. But even that promise faltered. The aircraft expected in 2023 did not arrive, and revised targets for 2024 to 2025 remain uncertain, and the whole program might shift in 2026 or later, knowing HAL's record of delays. Tejas was never free of technical issues. It has faced long-standing problems with its flight controls being unstable. The airframe has seen cracks under stress. Software glitches and hydraulic leaks have shadowed its development. The very aircraft that crashed in Dubai, with the same one tied to fluid leakages just 3 days earlier, raises alarming questions about the quality control and whether the aircraft should ever have flown in that maneuver. Then came the fatal demonstration. The jet's negative G roll went wrong. It failed to recover its angle of attack at very low altitude. It went into a deadly dive and exploded into the ground in front of hundreds, maybe thousands of onlookers. What embarrassment. Wing Commander Namansh Syal was no ordinary pilot. Only the most proficient pilots fly in a precision demonstration flying, trusted with India's most prized assets like the Tejas. for high-risk display maneuvers. To train a pilot like him takes years, hundreds of flight hours, intense simulation, physical training, academics, and the courage to constantly fly machines pushing the edge of performance. His death was not just the loss of an aircraft, one of the darkest days for the entire Indian Air Force. When a pilot of his caliber dies, not in conflict, but during an international public display, and likely due to technical failure, it's an institutional avoidable failure. It's not bravery alone. It's negligence, inhumane cost, and a painful moral defeat. India had been pitching Tejas aggressively for export to Malaysia, Sri Lanka, Argentina, even the Philippines, and even to the US Navy. Those offers were already shaky. Many nations declined, citing performance concerns, delivery timelines, and risk. Now, after this crash, any serious foreign buyers would likely walk away. The aircraft, once touted as the flagship of Narendra Modi's Make in India campaign, is now just a liability, a PR nightmare, not an export champion. Meanwhile, while India struggled for 40 years, Pakistan and China built a very different success story. The GF-17 Thunder. Their program launched in the late 1990s and saw the first flight as early as 2003. And the Pakistan Air Force had operational squadrons by 2007. Today, Pakistan Air Force fields over 150 GF-17s, producing around 20 to 24 jets every year, serving in multiple air forces around the globe, with more export customers already confirmed. That is real, scalable, reliable progress, in stark contrast to decades of Tejas's underperformance. This crash hits far beyond one aircraft for one life. It undermines HAL's credibility, jeopardizes future projects like the Mark II and even the AMCA. It raises serious questions about India's capacity to deliver extended, self-reliant air power. If HAL cannot guarantee safety, how can it guarantee advanced manufacturing or fifth-generation stealth fighters? The Tejas crash in Dubai will be remembered as more than an accident. It is a symbol of ambition without delivery, of hype without substance, and of a program that valued appearance more than safety. The death of Wing Commander Namansh Syal is not just a line in the news. It is a stain on an entire technological experiment. India lost more than just a plane today. It lost its moral leverage. It lost the last vestige of its India-made pride in this jet. And for anybody watching, the message is painfully clear. Without honesty, accountability, and real engineering maturity, pride is just a shortcut to shame and disaster. This is Qasim, and you've been watching Radar Mode on Pakistan Connect. If you found this breakdown valuable, please like, share, subscribe, and share this episode. Let me know in the comments, do you think Tejas has any future after today? And how should India rebuild trust in its aerospace programs? Until next time, stay vigilant, stay analytical, and keep the radar mode on.